A very good afternoon to you. You're watching Lunchtime News here on MTV Sports. Let's start off with a look at the headlines. Several areas in the country affected by strong winds. Four new magistrate courts to hear cases of LTT's suspects. And in news overseas, international support for President Barack Obama's foreign policy sees a sharp decline. And now for the news in detail. Several houses have been damaged by strong winds. Our correspondents noted that this situation was experienced at around 10:30 p.m. last night. The most affected were the Mathura, Hambantota and Gampaha districts. Meanwhile, the Met Department says that wind speeds could increase from time to time. The Ranna, Vadigala and Kahadav areas were the most affected in the Hambantota district. Our correspondent noted that 25 houses were affected by the winds. Meanwhile, strong gusts of wind were experienced at around 5:30 last evening in the Talaramba area in Veligama. This is the manner in which winds were recorded on a mobile phone. Meanwhile, the winds also affected the Yatiana, Kottavatta and Uduva East areas in Mathura. Coordinator of the Mathura District Disaster Management Unit, Major Saman Balasuriya, said that 15 houses had been damaged. Minister of Disaster Management Mahinda Amaravira noted that relief will be provided to those affected by the strong winds. Steps have been taken to establish 4 new magistrate courts to hear cases of LTT's suspects.
Secretary to the Ministry of Rehabilitation and Prison Reform, Edis Nayaka, noted that it has been decided to expedite these cases. Thereby, 2 magistrate courts will be set up in Vavuniya and Mana to hear these cases. The Secretary said that the Ministry has also decided to establish magistrate courts in Anuradhapura and within the Velikanda prison as well.
The police says that investigations have been launched into the attempted bank robbery in Battaramulla this morning under the supervision of a police superintendent. Police media spokesperson SP Ajit Rohan said that senior DIG in charge of the Western Province, Anurasana Nayaka, will oversee the investigation. The police had conducted a special operation at 2:30 this morning based on information received about an attempted bank robbery. The police said that they had been forced to open fire at the 3 suspects who attempted to flee. One of the injured suspects succumbed to his injuries subsequent to being admitted to the National Hospital. Another suspect was arrested. The police media spokesperson said that the other suspect had fled. The Kadwela magistrate inspected the scene of the crime earlier this morning. The police noted that the magisterial inquest will also be held today. SP Ajit Rohana noted that the post-mortem examination of the suspect who died will be carried out at the National Hospital morgue. Now, the Swiss Federal Prosecutor's Office is to take its investigation into suspected money laundering by a group of Sri Lankans to the Netherlands and Sri Lanka.
The BBC reports that investigations are being carried out since 2009 against 12 persons on charges of extortion, money laundering, being a member of a criminal organization, fraud and preparation of forged documents. The Swiss Federal Prosecutor's Office says that the 12 persons are members of the LTTE. The Swiss Federal Prosecutor's Office adds that the suspects have also been charged with forcing Tamils in Switzerland to provide money and also obtaining bank loans by producing fake payslips. The Swiss Federal Prosecutor's Office had told the BBC that it believes that the money was used to finance terrorist activities in the country. The Swiss Federal Prosecutor's Office also notes that the LTT members have managed to create a strong pyramid-style organization in Switzerland, similar to the ones in other European countries.
The Consumer Affairs Authority has arrested 9 drivers for transporting vegetables without using crates. The Consumer Affairs Authority said that they had been released after being produced before the Maliga Kanda magistrate, who had imposed a fine of 7,000 rupees on each driver. On the 13th of January, it was made mandatory to use plastic crates when transporting certain fruits and vegetables. However, this was not implemented owing to protests. The Consumer Affairs Authority has now begun implementing the new regulation. The group of drivers arrested last night were detained at the Navaloka grounds until this morning. Assistants said that officials of the Consumer Affairs Authority had taken the group of drivers to the authority. The United National Party convened a media briefing this morning. Parliamentarian Lakshman Kirayala expressed these views.
You are
aware that the cost of living has increased by at least 50%. So I would like to ask, if the cost of living has increased by 50%, has the income of the people increased by 50%? I can clearly state that while expenses have increased by 50%, our income has only increased by 5%. So I would like to ask whether this is the miracle that the government has promised the people.
අපේ ආදායම වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන 100%කින් පමණයි. ඉතින් මම රජයෙන් අහනවා මේකද ජනතාවට දෙන ආශ්චර්යය.
A new building of the Samanture Base Hospital in the Ampara district was declared open by the Deputy Minister of Health, Lalit Disanayake, yesterday. The new unit will take care of premature babies. The director of the hospital, Minister of Health of the Eastern Province, and other officials attended the event. Our correspondent noted that the Deputy Minister inspected the hospital and looked into its shortcomings. The police said that several roads in the Colombo North area will be closed from 2 p.m. today due to the annual feast of St. Anthony's Church, Kochikade. Reclamation Road from the Khan Clock Tower and Sri Ramanathan Mawatha from Hettiyawatta towards Fort will be closed for traffic. The police request motorists to use alternative routes. Thereby, when entering Fort from Mutual, motorists can turn to George R. De Silva Mawatha from the Kotena Junction and proceed towards the Armour Street Junction. Moving on to the sporting arena, the third one-day international of the ongoing series between Sri Lanka and Pakistan will be played today at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. Both teams have won a game each so far in the 5-match series. Today's match will begin at 2:30 Sri Lankan time. The Sri Lankan team taking part in today's match was seen at the nets yesterday. Meanwhile, at a media briefing held yesterday, Sri Lankan skipper Mahela Jayawardene said that Tilakaratne Dilshan and Upul Taranga will be the opening pair for Sri Lanka today.
ඉස්සෙල්ලා තරංගේ සෙල්ලම් කරා වගේ මම හිතන්නේ ඒ ආරම්භය අපිට ගොඩක් හොඳයි අපි
I think the opening will be good just as the previous match. We believe that Upul will be able to take on the Pakistani left-arm seamers. That is why we implemented this strategy. I think it is a good move. We hope to implement it in other games as well.
මේක හොඳ සැලැස්මක්. ඉතින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන එකත් ඉදිරි තරඟවලදීත් ඒ දේ කරන්න.
Mahela Jayawardene also said that Sajeeva Veerakorn will replace the injured Rangana Herath in today's match. Jayawardene also expressed his views about the pitch.
මෙතන පිටින් බැලුවාම තනතිරු ගොඩක් හොඳ තත්ත්වයක තියෙනවා. අපි ඊට තනතිරු දෙයකට මෙහා තමයි අපි පුහුණු වීම කරේ. ඉතින්
I think the pitch will be good. I think we will be able to have a good game.
මම හිතනවා හොඳ තරඟයකට අපිට සෙල්ලම් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Meanwhile, Pakistan captain Misbah-ul Haq, speaking at the media briefing, said that the team will perform better than their previous encounters. He said that they will focus more on the bowling department. Sri Lanka have played against Pakistan on 12 occasions at the R. Premadasa Stadium. Pakistan have won 6 of those matches, while Sri Lanka won 4. 2 matches ended without a result. During the past 8 years, Sri Lanka has played 4 matches against Pakistan at the R. Premadasa Stadium and have failed to win a single match.